China and Brazil just agreed to trade in their own currencies. India says it is ready to trade in a rupee with countries that have dollar shortage. Why is there a rising tendency to ditch the US dollar as an intermediary currency in trade?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I think since last year, the war between Russia and Ukraine basically raised the alarm bell, among many of the participants in the U.S. dollar system. Basically, Russia has its entire foreign exchange reserve being frozen by the U.S. authority, to the amount of over 300 billion US dollars, which is, a monumental figure, right? So, it really raised the alarm clock that raised the alarm that, the U.S. is trying to use the U.S. dollar as a weapon, to weaponize it against, any adversary that it has. All right, so, countries has to come up with a backup option, and obviously, China being one of the biggest, well, I think it's the biggest trading nation in the world. Right, so I think China now is signing contracts with many of the trading counterparts, trying to establish trade settlements using Chinese RMB. For example, the trade agreement that we had this morning with Brazil, right? So it's basically importing quite a bit of raw materials from Brazil and therefore exporting Chinese yuan to Brazil, and that's why it's a very significant step for RMB internationalization.
And what would happen to the U.S. if more and more countries trade in their own currencies? And what does it mean for the U.S. economy as it has enjoyed exorbitant privileges due to the dollar dominance?
Yeah, I think, for now, it is still very difficult to sort of, overthrow the U.S. Dollar reserve system. Right, so the U.S. dollar is still taking 60% of the reserve. But I think over time, as more and more people use RMB, and I think RMB will become one of the trading major trading currencies in the world, to displace many of the other competitors, become probably one of the most important reserve currencies in the world.